Okay. So in the last session, we have seen what is Azure DevOps and what are boards, what are repos, what are pipelines, very high level, right? So in this session today, we will deep dive into boards. So basically, to why do we need Azure DevOps? Why do we need Azure DevOps boards? Because to track any work items, to track any project, we should need a one place, right? So for that purpose, we will be using. So for managing the project work, maintaining the task, everything, we will be using the Azure DevOps boards. Okay. Now, if you see here, for every Azure site, we will have the basic URL. Then we will have the organization. If you see here, under base URL, you have the digital banking app. This is the one of the organization. So under digital banking app organization, you have two projects, D35 CRM, D35 practice. So in one organization, there will be a number of projects, right? So basically to support that, we will be having this. So suppose if you want to create any new project, you can create a new project from this organization settings, or you can be creating from here directly also. So to do all this thing, you should have a proper access to it, your Azure DevOps. So you should be the owner. Majorly, for developers will have the only read-only access or limited privileges for these boards. Only the project managers, senior managers will have the complete control on these boards and creating projects. Okay. Now here one thing we have to understand. So whenever we are choosing Azure DevOps for our tracking the work for tracking management or management work, so there are a couple of settings we can choose. If you see here under organization settings, if you go here the projects, you can see the projects, and here users you can give the control the who should have access. And if we scroll down a little bit lower under boards, we have the process. So whenever we are talking about managing the work, we should know the how do you want to manage, right? So in our current, there are different types of process are there. Those are like agile model, scrum model, CMMA model. Okay. Now if you see in the agile model, the work culture will be like this. There will be epic. Under epic, you will be having the feature. Under feature, you will be having the user story. Then you will have the task, like that. If you have any issue, you will have a bug. Issue means issue is a different, bug is a different. Don't confuse. Issue means like a some complete obstacle. If you have any dependency or if you have any blocker, that is kind of a issue. And bug is like a some a mistake or some wrong, whatever, some error in the existing implemented functionality, like that. Okay. Then we will have the test case, test plan, test suite as well. So this is a typical Agile terminologies what we use for generally. Okay. So if you see, you will have backlog levels, epic features, also the projects what are supporting. Right now, I configured Agile D365 Serum config to this one. Now, if you go for the basic, which was created earlier, this is having a different epic issue, task, test case, test plan, test suite. If you see here, project. Okay. So similarly, you can have Scrum model. Scrum also similar to the Agile only. This is also follow epic feature task structure product backlog like that. Okay. Now let's go back to boards from here. If you see here we have two projects. One is D3CRM, other one is D3 practice. So if I go to D3 CRM, as I have chosen agile model for this one. So the board, whenever you're creating your work item, it will appear like this. Okay. You can, the structures, the words, the work items will be like this. Suppose if you choose other project instead of D365 CRM, if you choose the other D365 practice, if you whenever you create work items, if you see this is different. So based upon the process you choose for your organization, your project, the work items stuff, the process will be maintained, the work items. Okay. The next thing, if you see, so how do we need to create these items? So what is the structure we need to follow? Suppose let's assume we are working for a banking application. Now we want to divide a work items. We want to create various work items. Okay. So let's consider this is our project digital banking app. Under you have a CRM team which is working on majorly on the banking for the banking thing. Okay. So for that purpose, here you have work items, right? Let's create a, so first the routing will be the epic. So basically what epic will do, here it will say the biggest high level item. So like I suppose for the banking application, if you want to create a entire system, right, bank for the app, so epic will be kind of a big piece which is to be implemented. So in our scenario, banking scenario, I'm just assuming like implementing banking system, digital banking system. So whenever say if you say implement a digital banking system, that will conduct that will consist of lot of parts, right? Implementing UI, implementing the transactions, implementing lot of things. So those will come under child for this epic. Okay, so let's create this. Now this is created. Now if you go to here in this, you will have a description what you want to achieve. You will be maintaining that. So if you want to tag any other person, you will be maintaining that here. Now if you go to the links here, okay, here you can create a, you can add a attachment or anything. In the links you can create a link, existing item or link. So basically for every work item there will, these are the common things, the details, discussion, the history, who created everything, see, you can see it from here. And the links, what is the parent for this link, what is the child for this link work item. Now this is the epic, right? So this is the origin of the work. Then I want to create a sub components for it. So in the, in our agile model, the process will be, if you see, let me go to boards again. In our Azure, so the parent, root parent will be the epic. Then for that epic you will be have a individual features will be there. Suppose creating a user login, account dashboard, fund transfer, like that. Okay. So for that one, I have to create a new item that is nothing but a child, and type should be feature. So let's assume I want to create a feature like customer login. So in this, I'm just breaking down the entire banking system into different features. So yeah, here I will give the description what I need to expect, what should be the acceptance criteria, everything. Okay, this is one. Then I want to create one more feature, that is account dashboard. I'm creating one more like fund transfer. So so if you consider any bank application, these are the main thing, right? So user should able to log in, user should able to see his balance or his details dashboard, then he should able to do that money transfer. So these are the typical three, right? So you can have a number of features under one epic. Okay, if you see here, for every work item you created, there you could see like state, area, iteration. This we will learn. So area will be like a project, what is the project you are on. Iterations I will tell about, it's sprint. Okay, now going back to customer login feature. So this is the feature. So in this feature, you will be defining what you have to do it for customer login, right? So again, this entire feature will be divided into small pieces like user stories. Okay. Now if you see again, if you go to links here, you have the parent link. Now I want to create a child link user story. So in this user story, you will be creating the sub components for this customer login. So new user sign up. So here will use the description acceptance criteria. Then you will create one more like forgot password sub. So these in this customer login user story, I'm just implementing two parts, two features. Forgot password existing user. So these are the two basic user stories I created under this. Again, under this user stories, we can have the subtask. So here like new, this will be the task. So in this task, what we will do, what we will design UI for design UI. Again, you can have a one more subtask of password validation, password and username. So like this, you will have the, you can have the subtask for this one. So if you go back to our thing, Epic, what I did under implementing digital banking system, I have created three features. Those are customer login, account dashboard, fund transfer. So if I go to customer login, I divided the entire feature into three pieces like new user sign up, forgot password for existing user. For the new user sign up, again, I divided this work into design UI, username, password validation. So these are the last one is a task. So you assign this to, you have to assign this to some person, right? So you will be assigning it from the respective owner, whoever be the developer or scrum lead, like that. Epic. After that, the features will be assigned to individual persons. It could be a developer. Then this user story will be the respective developers. The task will be assigned to the respective person. Now that is one thing. So what I said, for every task you will be having this status, reason, everything common, right? If you go further here, you can see that what is the status of this Epic, what is the status of this work item. It could it new, active, resolved, closed, removed. So basically new will be like a, for a fresh work item it will be like that. And for the active it will be like you are currently working on that work item. Resolved means you already complete the development, move it to the test, like that. If it is closed means it is deployed to the production. So like that, for each state indicates a different status of the work item. So if you want to delete the work item, you can use this remove option. So now coming to the area. So for if you have, as you are in the D65 CRM project, for this is the area. If you are in the other project, D65 practice, if you open any work item here, even it is a other, if you see the area will be different. So to manage different projects under one organization, we will be using this area. Okay. Now coming to the iteration. So what is the iteration means? Basically in the Agile models, we will be following the Scrum sprint, right, to maintain the work to achieve the any goal, SDLC goal. So for that purpose, we will be creating the different iterations. So that iterations we will be creating from the project settings. If you go to boards, you will have the project configuration. Here you will have the iterations. So this is my D365 CRM. So I want to create the iteration one means sprint one. So usually it can be 15 days or 30 days. You can depend. You can select as you wish, as means as project follows. So I'm just creating for 2 week. So like this you can edit the iteration to from 8th to every 15 days I'm creating a iteration. So like this you will be creating the sprint iterations. So if you create a new child, you have to choose the right properly. Now here, if you want to get any iteration, you will be creating from here new child. What is the date? I should select the post third, right? Sixth I have to choose. So iteration name should be 4. So some people will have monthly sprint. If it is a monthly sprint, they will have a month name like 26. If it is a monthly sprint, they can have like this, like name can be like 2605. So the start date will be like starting of this month, 4 week, right? Month means, so they should be on from the first week of Monday to last Friday, like that they will set up. Otherwise, if it is a 2 weeks, they can have like this 2606 hyphen 1 for here. For the next one, they will have the 26062 hyphen 2. So it's up to their wish how they want to track this iteration. So by seeing the iteration itself, you can know, right? 2606 hyphen 1 means first what you call 2 weeks, fortnight. 2606 hyphen 2 means second fortnight. Like that, they can identify. Okay, so this is how we will be creating the iterations. If we go back to board here, now you have everything in the board. Earlier we have done, but we have epic, we have features, we have user stories, we have task, everything, right? Now if you go to boards, here you could see the things, user stories. So majorly I created 2 user stories. Here everything is a new. For nothing we haven't started the work. So here you could see the status, new, active, where are the. So basically this board will be used to see the progress. So it will display the only user stories. So and what is the current state of it. Suppose this new user sign up is started. So in that case, you can see like this one. You can make it active and it is assigned to Harshvardhan. So once I assign to move to active, automatically it's assigned to myself. So from here, dashboard, you can see the what is the progress of the each user story, where where is it in the starting state or resolve state, closure state, like that you can see. Okay. Now if you see for this, you have two subtasks, and the subtasks are not start rate. So those are 0 by 2. If you make anything active, you want to make it active. Now if you see, the number will be sharing 1 0 by 2 and to let it closed. Now if you see, once you close this one, you here have 1 by 2 means one task is completed, one of two tasks is completed. Like that, you could see it from here itself. You don't need to go to task level. So now if you see here, for every user story, you have description, you have acceptance criteria, and you have discussion. If you closely observe, you have story points as well, right? So in the story points, what we will mention, the complexity of work. Suppose this new user sign implemented, like need some big time. So for this user story to concept, we will be using the Fibonacci series. Okay, so how visual Fibonacci series will start? It will start from like this 0 1 1. So 1 2 3, 1 plus 2 3, 3 plus 2 5, 5 plus 3 8 6. So in this way, so we will be creating the Fibonacci number for mentioning the complexity. So 1 means very basic task, it will complete in within 1 or 2 hours. 2 means some half day work, 3 means full day. Like that, we will give the complexity we will be given with Fibonacci series. Okay. And the priority, what is the urgency of this task? Which one should be completed? So if it is a priority one, all priority one should be completed first. If it is a least priority, giving some add-on, you can have it least priority, like that you can maintain. So do you see any risk? So if you don't have any, we will maintain everything with these parameters. Okay. Now if you see, same way you will have tags. If you want to maintain any tags, like this feature has to be groomed. means this feature doesn't have proper information, so you can have like to be groomed, like that you can have it. So if it is completed, you can have like for the other user story, you can have like it's groomed. So like this, you can have a tags. So everything, these tags, this user stories, iteration, everything, you can be using in the querying. Okay. So this is all about the board. And if you see the backlog, now if you see the backlog, as we could see that every work item from here itself. So how many tasks you have, how many, what is the work for the next quarter, what is the work for next item. So the business BAs who will be connecting to the business, they will be creating the backlog items. So they will be creating the what is the next task they want to implement, what is the next implementation they want to introduce for the customer. So like that they will be adding. So they will be creating the user stories, they will be adding it here. Okay. Now if you go to sprint, so I say right to follow the whenever we are following the agile process, we will be using sprint. So in the sprint, what we will do, we will maintain the what is the start date of the sprint, what is the end date of the sprint. So we will be based upon the dates, we will be aligning the deployments, we will be aligning the delivering the work items. So everything we will maintain with iterations. So if you see in the current iteration, we don't have anything. So what should I do? I have created work items, but I haven't added the iteration. Right now, I will let me add the iteration. So if you see under D365 CRM, you have this iteration. For other one, I will be selecting a different iteration. So this one also I want to keep the same. Now if you go to sprint now, some earlier you didn't see anything. Now you could see, right? So under this user sign I have two tasks. Let me add those two to 26061 only. So it will be easy for you to understand. Let me refresh this. So under this sprint, you will be having a number of persons in generally. So every person's, if you select all, it will show everyone. If you select only the respective candidate, it will show respective. Okay, now if you want to collapse all field. So if you see here, this is a user story. One task is completed, it is in closed state, the other was in a new state. So you can maintain, so this sprint usually developer will be having the status everything from here. Okay. So from the sprint dashboard, we could see the what are the user stories planned for this sprint. What is the start date, May 25th? What is the end date, June 6th? So how many user stories are there? Everything you can see it from this sprint dashboard. So sprint dashboard you can maintain for the each sprint. Okay. So here you will be using what is the backlog. Right now we have only one backlog, and you can see the capacity. So how many hours he can work per day. Do you have any holidays in this in day? Suppose if you have any holiday, suppose let's say have holiday here Monday, so you will be having adding like this. So if you whenever you add the holiday, it will be the capacity will be reflected. So okay, capacity will be like 6 hours per day, let's assume. So whenever you have a 6 hours per day, so if you have two team members, so obviously for each day there will be 12 hours work should be delivered, right? So he don't have any offs in this week. So that time, if you see here dashboard, you will be having, you will hang actually this bar. This will design the, if you have one second, if you have the proper configuration, it will show the bar graphs here, how much team is work lifting, how much capacity they are falling, and everything. Here it is showing that graph, right? So in this only we will maintain. Okay. So this is about sprint. Now let's move to queries. So in the queries, this is basically to pull any reports, to check anything. This is kind of a advanced find in the CRM or views in the CRM. If you want to have any, suppose if you want to see what are the open items in my current sprint, if you want to pull that information, you can pull that. So change your date greater than 180 days, or you can have a last 1 month. Today minus 30 like that. Okay. Now if you see the state, instead of any state, I want to just pull what are the open items for my, and what are the work item type. It could be bug, epic, feature, code review, request, anything. So I'm just keeping any. Now I want to fill it for only my current sprint. Current sprint. So in that case, you have to choose iteration here. So iteration ID will be, what is the iteration ID? This will be the iteration ID, right? So you have to choose. Okay, let me select arcade. So this is my iteration ID. Now if you run query, integer value. Let me give iteration. We will have, I think, iteration ID, iteration as well. Area path, iteration path should be there. Similarly, area path. Sorry, run query. So if you see whatever the items planned for 26061, you are pulling. Okay. So like this, you want to pull any reports. If you want to pull any data, if you want to query, you can use. Suppose if you want to pull the work items assigned by individual, you can pull it from here. One moment. You can add the worked by or work item type or owner. What is that? What is that state? This is kind of a assigned to. Yeah. So if you want to pull for only assigned to none, you want to remove iteration, you want to keep assigned doesn't contain data. Suppose if you query, it will pull all items, doesn't contain it. Like that, if you want to do whatever query you want to do. Okay, so basically we will be using queries to pull any information within from the dash user story. It could be user story info, it could be feature info. Suppose if you want to pull the last sprint delivered item, so that time what you will be doing, the state you will be keeping closed, and you will be pulling. Then it will be retrieve the last sprint delivered. So for having last sprint, you should have a iteration path, right? So you will be choosing that respect to iteration part. So if you do query, you will get some results like that. Okay. So this is the basic thing we will be using for maintaining any project. So mostly from the developer point of view using, we will be using the sprint. We will be maintaining the status active, complete, close. We will, if we want to add any comments here, we will be maintaining the add it in the discussion. If you want to add any upload file, you will be adding the attachment here. So you have to make sure you need to know where to tag, how to tag. Suppose if you want to tag some other person, you have to keep it at the rate. It will look for that. You will get the contact. You have to use alias like this. Okay. So you can give like just an FA. This is completed. So if you want to tag anything in the Azure DevOps, you can do tagging like this. So the remaining the backlog grooming, this will be taken care by lead or whoever the BA who is running your project, that the boards also, this will be used by the managers who want to see the project tracking. They will be using it for. So from the developer perspective, we will be mostly on the sprint. Okay. So if you click on the work items here, you can see the all work items. So you can see, if you want to see only assigned to me, you can see only 2 tasks. If you want to see everything mentioned, if you, so like this, you will have different queries. So you can just explore what you want to do, everything. So here we have state type. What is that? If you want to display on either story, you can apply filters. If you want to see only active, you can apply active one. Like that, you can have a n number of filters. You can apply here, and you can have it. Okay. So this is about boards. So you will have the delivery plans and the analytics view. So basically, this is also used by manager only. If you want to handle multiple teams under your project, you will be using. So suppose if you want to have a release on July 1st, and you have a different team, so you will be setting the target and what is the field criteria. So like that, you want to have, if you want to combine anything, if you want to track anything combinedly, you will be using the delivery plans for it. Okay. Now if you see analytical views, you can, this is also creating of a kind of a queries only, but these are the ready to use queries already. Bugs all history by month, bugs today, created stories last 30 days, how many stories are created. So if you open this one, stories last 30 days, the analytics here, stories. So like this, for the, you will have the boards, everything. If you want to query anything, you can have query it. Actually, whatever the views we have it here, right? We could see it from the board level as well. Let me check it. Analytics creative field here. So these are the, I think we should open it from the Power BI only. So basically, these are kind of the dashboard similar to how whatever we are seeing it here, right? Analytics. So similarly, this will be generating some Power BI boards. You can open in a Power BI. So these are the ready to use queries, bugs in last 26 weeks. Now if you see, we haven't created a bug, right? So suppose this is done. This user story is completed. When it is moved to the test environment, it is identified like it has some bug. You made it resolved. So they want to, they did the testing and they identified some issue. So in such scenarios, they will be creating a, they want to create a bug. So for creating a bug, you can create a bug and you will be saying user log is not working. The title. So here in the repo steps, you will be like, you will be doing the, what are the repo step 1, 2. So go navigate to there, navigate to this, press the button like that. You will be giving the steps. So once you click on this one, you have to assign link to this the parent item, existing item. This is the creating for user story, right? So you will be creating a assigning the existing user story. Work item has already parent. Where it has parent. So instead of child, I will be choosing work item to link. I think we have to link it to feature. Let me try to link it to feature. New item, existing item, account, customer login. Has a parent link, so a new one cannot be added. Link item, parent. new user sign up. Now if you see, if you go to new user sign up, you have two tasks on parent. Let me refresh. So for this user show, for this bug, this user show will be the parent. If you see here, you have four items, two tasks and one bug. So like this, the bugs will be tracked to the respective feature or user story. So you have to make it completed. You need to active means upload. You are accepting that bug. Then you are giving resolved means fixed as reasoned. Cannot report. Just copy to backlog. Suppose if you want to deliver this bug in a later sprint, you will be adding to the backlog. Cannot reproduce means you are unable to reproduce it. Suppose if it is a limitation from your implementation, you can say like as designed. So like this you will be using will not fix absolute, like that you will mention the appropriate reason and you will be closing the task. Okay, so like this you will be using the bugs for the identifying any issues. If you go further, we will have the, whenever you are creating work items, we will have the this test case, test use, etc. Right? So those we will be seeing under part as part of test plans. Okay. Any questions so far? So this is a very small thing in Azure DevOps. Everything is a UI. You just need to use drag and drop. You just aware of what is there, what can you do, what is your scope, what you, how to tag, how to link, how to mentions. Those are the basic things you have to learn. That's all. Thank you.